What's going on, guys? Greg Farley from the Sports Comrades. I appreciate you as always for tuning in. Make sure you sub, make sure you hit the bell so you can get the notifications when I upload these fighter breakdowns and other sports related content. Without further ado, I've been an avid martial artist for a very long time and I love doing fighter breakdowns. This is the next fighter breakdown. Let's get it.
Fighting out of Sydney, Australia, Robert the Reaper Whittaker!
Jumping straight into it, the man has lightning bolts in his hands, in both hands. He obviously has above average Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but in touching on the strength that I wanted to majorly touch on is his combination of Western and Eastern philosophy of striking. He has precision and distance control and a high understanding of karate, but he also has an understanding of boxing range, of mid-range, and also close range, tight positioning. And this is where everything comes together for him, and it's why he's kind of regarded as one of the best fighters in the world and close to starting to head for that #1 spot at the pound for pound. He's vicious left hooks, of which we'll touch on later with the actual breakdown. But in getting straight to it, the man hits you so quickly and so accurately on the button that it many times puts people away, as he did on the Tough Smashes is what the season was called, where they had seasons pitted up against each other. They had countries pitted up against each other, Australia, and I can't remember the other country. He basically just flatlined a whole lot of people on that show. He pulverized Uriah Hall with speed, power, precision, and timing. The last time somebody had this combination of those four, they went on a 7-year run. We're talking about Anderson Silva, obviously. But again, that boxing range, he has a very high understanding of all of that. Plus, he has a takedown ability that he doesn't use all that often, but when he needs it, he can use it. When a mixed martial artist has all these in his repertoire, it makes him a very dangerous individual. Sometimes he has a finishing element to his game that quite frankly isn't seen all that often. His left hand and his right hand, and as you see here, his left hand is so lightning and cut off at angles that many times his opponents don't see it. And if you can't see it, then you're gonna get hurt. And if you're hurt with something you never saw, it's really gonna put you away, and it's gonna put you away rather harshly. He presents a problem at every range, in tight, in the mid-range, long range. Like I said before, the karate style mixed with his boxing style is why he's so dangerous. He's a Hapkido black belt and I think a Shotokan black belt, correct me if I'm wrong. But here, the kicking chamber is what makes his technique so crucial. The kicking chamber, as you see him kick and he pulls his leg back, and as he pulls his leg back, it goes back to chamber. This is a karate element to his game. It's karate based. Many times with Muay Thai, you're kicking and swinging through with your leg, whereas karate, you're kicking and snapping back. Same with Taekwondo. It's the same school of thought. That Eastern philosophy, the Far East. But again, this is from the other angle. Yes, it is his kind of shin landing on the guy, but it's a karate kick the way he snapped it back and pulled his foot back down to the ground. But 4 different ranges, as I've just described: the long kicking range, the long punching range, mid-range, close range. He's outclassing pretty much everybody. And in the middleweight division, I'm not going to say it's the weakest division, but a lot of people are leaving. Bisping just retired, so on and so forth. Luke Rockhold, he just left. He's leaving people where they don't know what to do. Like, should I stay out here? Should I try to close the distance? Well, against this gentleman, forgive me, I don't know his name. But against this gentleman, he tried to close the distance, grab him, reach out, do everything that he could, and it got him embarrassed in reaching. And when you're reaching against a master level striker, you're going to get hit, and hit a lot. There's a few small weaknesses in Robert's game, which you can kind of see in these clips, where if you begin dropping your hands like he is and not getting away with it to certain people, it's going to catch you against the better fighters. But I haven't seen him get caught yet.
I move back out in case the shot hits the gloves and he retaliates and anything else.
What you just saw there was the effortless breakdown of his technique and how he applies it. I couldn't show you everything that he did in that clip because it's not under my copyright. An above average grappler. He does very well at finishing people off on the ground, but I think he only has 7 or 8 career takedowns. He doesn't use them. He doesn't need to, but he doesn't use them. He uses them to stuff people's takedowns. So as I let this run, I wanted to give you a stat, and this is courtesy of Dan Hardy. He's one of the best guys and analysts doing it, and one of my former favorite fighters. Now he's a master analyst. Yoel Romero's takedown offense, after the first fight dropped 10%, 9 to 10%. It was right at like 9.52 or something like that. When Yoel is going after people, he generally gets what he wants. But against Robert, he did not get anything, and that's why in the first and second round, Yoel managed to take him down, and then in 3, 4, and 5, he dropped Yoel Romero's takedown offense 9%. He dropped an average 9 or 10%. And when an average gets affected that much off of one fight, that tells you how high of a level that Robert Whittaker is on. If you measure that versus someone that's Olympic silver medalist and almost an Olympic bronze medalist, he went to the 2000 and the 2004 games. Yoel Romero is no joke in the grappling game. Granted, he's got a muscular frame that he can tire out rather quickly, which that probably happened. As you see that technique that we just talked about with the left hook, when he applies that, he's a dangerous individual that might not lose for a very long time and could be the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Obviously, he'd probably like to avenge the loss that he had versus Steven, but who knows if that'll ever happen. Steven is kind of getting long in the tooth as well. Strength segment. Go back and watch if you can. Find on YouTube. Watch him when he's fighting Yoel Romero and try to watch the full fight if you can find it. As you see him putting away Jacare right there. He's simply, his takedown defense is spectacular because people don't ever hold him there. I can't remember a fight like that. The only time I remember him losing is what we're about to touch on now, is his loss to Steven. He got punished for it. Granted, he was a little green. So let's take a look in on that as we see his weakness.
That side stance of Stephen Thompson early.
And that front leg technique quite often. And is also very, very good at switching. Good combination so far.
Style.
Well, he's really fighting karate style with his hands down.
Yep.
Side stance as well.
Stud.
He's got him thinking, front leg action.
Knockout of Dan Stitching.
But what we're seeing from Thompson is what we've seen from him in his kickboxing career. It's just, it took a while for him to get comfortable enough with his takedown defense. His striking is that compete in MMA. Look
now
at
Whittaker trying to chase him down.
But look at that beautiful head movement.
It's just a slip and a rip.
Which makes you think twice about moving forward. He's in with shots of his own, and he's putting Whittaker in a... He's mixing his techniques up more here. Whittaker's in big trouble.
Yep. And again he connects.
He's hurt bad.
Again, looking to finish a fight. Mario Yamasaki all over.
That's it.
It is all over.
Big win.
Should Robert Whittaker. Wow.
And that is the Stephen Thompson that we saw in his kickbox. And this is what has always made Stephen Thompson so special. His ability to move in and out. His ability to... And he swarms on him. And here Whittaker's grabbing a hold of that leg, but Thompson is just all over him.